Among the thousands of people fleeing the 5-week-old conflict in Ethiopia's Tigray region are a few dozen men, women and children from Eritrea, one of the world's most authoritarian states. They're already living as refugees in Tigray, which had long been a safe haven for them during years of conflict and repression in Eritrea. But when Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government launched a military operation against Tigray's ruling party, the Eritrean refugees' illusion of safety was shattered as violence escalated around their camps.
For years, Ethiopia and Eritrea had been officially in a state of war. In 2018, Abiy took power, ending years of political dominance by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, sworn enemies of Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki. Abiy and Afwerki signed a historic peace agreement that same year, winning the Ethiopian leader the Nobel Peace Prize. After the dramatic shift in alliances, Abiy's forces launched their operation in Tigray on November 4th. Eritreans, who had long benefited from protection in Ethiopia, appear to have become a target. Since then, a few Eritrean refugees have managed to escape to Sudan. The UN, meanwhile, has expressed fears for their safety for those still in Tigray, home to some 96,000 Eritrean refugees living in 4 refugee camps. The Eritrean regime once used its war against Ethiopia to justify its system of universal conscription. But the system remains in place despite the fact that the war ended in the year 2000, followed by the peace agreement in 2018. Rights groups say Eritrea's national service often extends for years, and any act of desertion or perceived disobedience leads to jail and torture. Some 3 dozen Eritreans have sought shelter in Hamdat reception camp, with camp authorities keeping them separated from Ethiopian refugees. On Friday, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi says he was deeply alarmed by the safety and well-being of Eritrean refugees in Ethiopia caught in the conflict in Tigray. Prior to the conflict, the UNHCR and other aid agencies provided aid for Eritrean refugees in camps in Ethiopia. But most UNHCR staff have since been evacuated out of concern for their safety, and Ethiopia has restricted access to Tigray. On Friday, the United States said it believed Eritrean forces had entered Tigray and called for their withdrawal.